Welcome back, everyone. This is the third episode of Tried and True EDC in the Spyderco series. Today I have for you the Spyderco Shaman. So the Shaman draws its inspiration from the Native. And just to give you an idea, this is actually the Native 5, but you can certainly see some similarities. This is a design by Sal Glesser. Let's take a look at some measurements. Overall, the knife comes in at slightly over 8 inches. You have the blade through the finger choil at 3 1/4 inch, and the cutting edge is slightly above 3 inches. Take a look at the width. So you're looking at fairly close to, well, slightly above 1.5 inches. And the thickness, we're looking at about 1/2 inch, not including the pocket clip. Let's see how much this guy weighs. It's coming in slightly below 5 ounces overall. Between 4 to 5 ounces is where I typically like the weight of my knives. So this is on the higher end of my preference. Depending on how good of a belt you have, it may or may not weigh your pants down. But let's talk about the blade. This is CTS-XHP steel. It has a stone-washed blade. It is made in Golden, Colorado, USA. It's got jimping on the spine as well as the finger choil. And for myself, choking up into using the finger choil is my preference of use. For some reason, this feels strange. Lots of grip with the jimping. As I've said in previous videos, Spydercos do an amazing job with the jimping on their knives. As usual, I will leave links that talks about the steel, once we get to availability, all the good stuff. It'll be in the description. Let's talk about the handle. So I have an aftermarket scale. This is Cerberus Micarta. It uses a radial pattern. They do give you the drilling for a left hand or a right hand tip up carry. Got a blade stop pin right here into the handle. Got 2 body screws and the pivot screw. Ergonomics are amazing. Even if you don't have the aftermarket scale, this is one of their factory models and it's just as comfortable. Just kind of give you a comparison. There's a little more contouring on the factory scale. This uses a compression lock. There, so similar to a liner lock, but on the other side. let's talk about the pocket clip. This is the factory pocket clip. This is a Stonewashed. The retention is slightly stiffer than some of the other models. It does use the Spyderco spoon clip. Lots of ramp to get through a lot of material thickness, different material thicknesses. And let's take a look at that in the pocket. Go. As you can see, the outline takes a bit of real estate in the pocket, but you'll still be able to get your hand in there. Let's see how much knife sticks out. About 1/2 inch. So enough knife for you to grab, to retrieve. Tension's not too much. It shouldn't rip up your jeans, but over time, it's gonna happen no matter what. If you're someone who carries pocket knives, it's bound to happen. Let's talk about availability and price point. So the model you see before you was a dealer exclusive that uses the CTS-XHP steel. Again, this is an aftermarket scale. The stock scale is an orange G10 scale. But you can get the basic S30V model with black G10. It's widely available. I took a quick look on the internet and you can find that for about $270. Spyderco prices have gone up almost once a year for the past 2 or 3 years. This model is probably picked this one up about 3 years ago. But when I got it, it was around $200. $200 for the knife, stock from the factory. The scales were about $80. They do have a distributor exclusive coming out. So I know that seems confusing. They have sprint runs, which is from Spyderco. It's unique to Spyderco selling it. So they don't offer that to dealers or distributors. Well, it's not based on an exclusive for the dealer, I should say. They distribute it out and it's sold in brick and mortars as well as online retailers. They have a dealer exclusive that they contract with a dealer and create an exclusive variation for them. And then they have a distributor exclusive. So that one is more, from my understanding, like a brick and mortar. And those are also distributed to other dealers. You can take a look online if it starts to sound confusing, but this, but again, the one that's coming out is a distributor exclusive with the same steel type, and it will have a black micarta scale. I'll post links to that so that way you can get notified when it drops. Let's talk about my final thoughts. This is a must-have. It's one of my favorite models of Spyderco. My first one is the Manix 2, and it's kind of a toss-up between this and the Paramilitary 2 for my second favorite. It's very fidgety. Great ergonomics. Again, I personally like choking up on the finger choil. It uses a full flat grind. It's thicker behind the edge, so possibly not the sliciest knife. However, Spyderco's do an amazing job with the edge geometry. So though it's thick right here, as it comes down, it will thin out. And I've rarely had any Spydercos that don't cut well. This is absolutely a user, not so much collection piece, unless you're into getting all the different exclusives and sprint runs, which are quite common with this model. They haven't released one in a while, so the one I mentioned previously about the new one that's dropping, that will be a nice distributor exclusive that's dropping. There's so many different customizations for this. My first episode was on a Manix 2, which is something I covered. My second episode was on a PM2, another thing I covered. The Spyderco Shaman, multiple skill options. You could replace the hardware screws and the pivot screw. Different clip options as well. If you want something deep carry, they do offer that. Again, I'll drop links to some of those resources. All right, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the review. Let me know your comments, how you feel about the Shaman, what you think is one of the most iconic knives in your collection from Spyderco, and any other feelings and thoughts that you have. Subscribe so you get notified for the next review. And before I take off, I'm gonna drop 2 other knives for your choosing that you would like to see for the next review. Up top, I have the Gale Bradley 2. And I figured the inspiration that the Shaman's from, the Native 5. Let me know if you're interested in seeing a review for one of these. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and stay frosty.